little bit. That was a delayed one,
There's
wasn't
a
it?
little
Luka
delay.
Nation, episode 728 of Luka's Tigers and Bronze, the best sports card podcast in the world. Please like, share, subscribe. We never really run advertisements or all that stuff that YouTube has. So what we ask is, if you think we do a good job here, share it with a friend, share it with an enemy, as Cage says, share it with a neighbor. And today we have someone that started out as a business associate and over the last year and change has become a friend. He's someone who always works hard with a smile on his face, and I think that's rare. I'm someone that, when I feel pressure, I'm ready to fight. But this is a gentleman that put on the Mint Collective, worked tirelessly 80, 90 hours a week, and he did it with a smile on his face. And he's one of the most selfless people in the hobby. He's not just someone that works with collectible. He's someone that understands this space really well, supports a lot of breakers, keeps breakers in business. Matter of fact, Mr. David
We were
Marino,
publicly talking about that. Thank you. Longtime fan, longtime listener.
Dave Marino from Collectible. By the way, doesn't he do a good job with that? Like, can you picture yourself like kind of like laying in your coffin and letting this guy give the eulogy? That's the way when he gives intros, I'm like, wow, I'd let this guy speak at my funeral.
It's one of the nicest introductions I've gotten, especially from people that truly know me. So
exactly, he has an uncanny
good
ability to leave out all the bad stuff, which is good. We're not, the bad stuff. We only have you for like 10 minutes. Your sauce is about to burn, so the bad stuff would take up like 20. That's it.
Cage, I came from an Eastern European family where, like, if you did anything well, it would be like, what about that 1% of things that you didn't do well? And it works, but I found that positive reinforcement works better, especially when it's all true. And dude, talk to us. So Ray Schultz, a lot of people follow him. I think he has Collectible Media, the National NSCC. You guys know that.
Yep.
He made a post today, Collectible Beckett at the Hard Rock Cafe. That was the gist. Can you give people, a little bit of the background on what's going on?
Sure. So Ray is probably, one of the people that I go and look to for advice the most after Cage, frankly. But this is something that I'm surprised Cage kept in the bag for so long. We have a bunch of great partners on this event. So at National, we're going to be kicking off National with the pre-event Wednesday night at the Hard Rock. It's going to be great. It's going to be an opportunity for everyone to network, just have another form of connectivity. Obviously smoke some cigars at the Luka Cigar Lounge, which is something I'm actually proud of. And, this is something that we're doing in partnership with Beckett. Longtime partners of ours, Card Ladder, DCI, My Slabs, PWCC, GTS, of course. There's going to be live breaks with Card Shop Live. Hobbyist and Bullpen are putting this on with us. Keep on going. Game Day, of course, and Kentucky Roadshow.
So it's a who's who
doing
event.
An insane event on Thursday as well with Card Collector too, it's really exciting. I'm going to skip out on my dinner Thursday and probably go to the trade night.
You can eat a little and then go. Those trade nights, they last a long time.
I might do trade night first, then dinner. No, I think National this year is, for me, definitely going to be about, again, connectivity. I think that realistically the best touch points of this industry and this hobby are, interacting with people, going to trade nights, going to shows. And one thing that, Ezra and I were really excited about in thinking about Mint Collective before it was Mint was how do you foster more engagement, more community. And, IMG ended up being the perfect partner for that and ideating this and allowing it to happen. I think that I was saying to you before, I'm probably more excited for National than I was Mint. Obviously there's less stress and more fun moments for me.
You can kind of let your head down a little bit, it's a big thing.
Also, you mentioned all those names, but I think what all of those names have in common is they want to work with you. And I'm not just saying that because we're friends and all that stuff, because I've told people some not so nice things on this show behind the scenes on live, but this is true. Like
about you, Dave. He said that.
Yeah. But at the end of the day,
I'm sure
like
there's a long list.
at the end of the day, the reason I think these businesses, whether that's Mint or National or at this event or the Thursday event, want to partner with you is I've talked about Wayne Dyer's book, The Power of Intention. I think people want to work with you because your intentions are to foster community, to create an atmosphere where people can hang out. Think about that. So Luka Nation, this is the official announcement. And all of you guys that RSVP'd for Cigar Night, this isn't going to be us sitting on the boardwalk with like a bum running across the street. This is at the Hard Rock penthouse overlooking the ocean in a little lounge smoking stoves. You're going to come. You're going to get a little goodie bag. It's going to be epic. And this is all possible thanks to this gentleman we've had a working relationship with.
And thanks to Beckett and Card Ladder and My Slabs and GTS and
But
everyone.
think about that.
I have not spoken to any of them. I've only spoken to you.
Well, think about that. Let's think of those names, right? Because here's my take on this, right? And Andrew's 100% right. Everybody wants to work with you guys, right? And there's a reason for that. And there's a reason why we continue to work with you. Our first call we ever had where, we were in the turning down business at the time, Andrew, and you and Ezra and the team got on and said, if we're doing something bad, we want you to talk about it. If we're doing something good, we want you to talk about it. We are in this not for collectible, but for the greater hobby. We want fractional to grow, even our competitors to grow. We want the hobby to grow because that's better for all of us. It's exactly what Andrew talks about all the time about growing the hobby pie. And what I take out of this is when I see a banner, when I see Ray from National NSCC post this stuff, and I see Card Ladder. I mean, Card Ladder is as ingrained in the hobby as can be. Beckett. I mean, when I was a kid, I used Beckett. I mean, Beckett is Beckett. These are the Kentucky Roadshow, who has the trade night with Card Collector too. You have new entries like the Card Shop Live guys, but you're there front and center. And what I'd want people to notice from that is, fractional was not a fly-by-night thing. It was not a, hey, we're going to try something out, get some liquidity, and just be gone and sell the company. Like you're here. You're a hobby participant. You're right in there in the weeds with all of the other hobby names that people, know from their daily usage. And, the folks that are daily hobby individuals, they want to partner with you. They want to work with you. They want to have an event with you guys. So I just think that is a cool takeaway from this. I'm also happy I'm going the first night because, last National, I didn't go down the first night, and Andrew was like, "It's the best night. It's like kicks the whole thing off. It's like spring. It's like boom. It's like a fresh start." And go ahead, Andrew.
Well, think about it, dude. You come into the baseball game. Aaron Judge isn't out there smacking homers from the get-go. He's at batting practice. Who wants to arrive at National where it's a packed room, it's chaos, it's hot. You have to walk on this concrete floor. Your knees get arthritis. No, you want to arrive the night before, chill out, sit at the lounge.
The night before, I'm getting there Sunday.
Yeah, but you just want to find wax to break on the boardwalk. I mean, you're just a different animal, dude.
Listen, I think that's a great point, right? If I had a hobby personality, right, I love wax.
A little bit.
Corey from Show Your Slabs calls me the Ripper. Realistically. But I think that's what's great about the hobby, and that's what's great about National, right? Everybody's going to National for a different reason. And, to me, Tuesday and Wednesday, that's not batting practice. That is the National. Because what people, seem to forget is that when you're in this industry and you truly love it for the right reasons, whether you're a collector that, doesn't get to speak to you guys on a regular basis, that's just showing up like you would with Ian, right?
Yep.
Or you're somebody that's actually in the industry. You work at Beckett, you work at Collectible, you live and breathe this every day as your career. I think that it's important to remember that everyone has the same points that they love, right? And I know it's like corny and kitschy, but it's true, right? Like we're all sitting here for an affinity of collecting. It's all about collecting. It's all about, you have what you love. And I think, to put a plug in for Collectible, I think what we've done really well from a brand perspective is we're not trying to force everyone and force fractional down people's throats, right? Like I always say to people, if you're going to understand Collectible, it's you have your PC, you have what you collect, and Collectible gives you access to other assets you probably can't PC, right? You can have exposure to something that you know, if you're like me, I can't go and buy a $2 million sports card. I wish I could. Life took me in a different direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think, you know, that's, you know, goes back to the best parts of the hobby. So whether you're there for 1 day, 5 days, or 8 days like me, you know, it's just something that you're anticipating, and you anticipate it for different reasons. So
I mean, I think you're 100% right, man. And all you got to do is just stop ripping for like 2 weeks, and you could buy that $2 million card, and you'll be set.
No, but I wasn't sure if this was
my wife's gonna watch this. My wife's gonna watch this. And
he doesn't break that much stuff, Mrs. Marino.
When my dad was at Mint, he goes, "All right, come on, I'll take you. We'll go buy a sports box. It'll be like when you were a little kid." I'm like, "Great." So I took him to Bullpen and showed him what prices were. He goes, $2,000 for a box of sports cards? Are you insane? Get a pack. Pack's $150. We're done. Right. But again, like, it goes back to, like, that's when Dad's memory, right? He just wanted to buy me a box of cards. Just didn't want to spend $2,000 for it. But that's a completely different scenario. But, you know, it just shows how we've evolved.
Marino, what's your biggest hit?
My biggest hit ever?
His wife, hands down.
100%.
Right.
100%.
She's watching. For cards.
I punched above my weight class with my wife. Cards, I hit a Mason Mount to 5 out of a Prism breakaway box.
And for those of the guys who don't know, that's an F1 driver.
Funny. I think I had what could have been one of the biggest hits, but the guy blew out his arm. I hit a Brendan McKay 1/1 rookie card. You know, kid could have been show high. He was basically Steve Nebraska, right? if you don't know who Steve Nebraska is, go watch The Scout.
That's it. Watch The Scout.
I don't know.
It's a good movie. Little Albert Brooks, little Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, Andrew, what are you most excited for National? I want to know what you and Cage are most excited for National. That's the take I want.
Well, a few things. So we're doing a Women of the Hobby interview. Talk to Sarah Layton. We're going to do that from their booth. I think that's pretty cool. That presence is growing. I'm excited to connect with our community. A lot of them we've only met virtually. Like, we only see their username, their profile, what they collect, and like, oh, that's Southpaw Slabs. Oh, that's what you look like in real life. You know, like that kind of stuff. That's super exciting. And then Cigar Night plus the little goodie bags, because I think we're going to surprise them. I don't think people are expecting this. I think they look at us and they're like, these guys are two schmucks who talk.
Well, we are.
True. 3 schmucks on right now.
We're an iceberg. You see the little tip at the top, but there's a tremendous amount of hard work that goes into making sure that these experiences are exceptional. Because here's the thing, our most valuable asset is our time. And if we're asking people to come and show up for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours here, they're not showing up there. They're not in their room. They're not ordering room service. They're not eating somewhere. So I take that very seriously. I know that Cage does as well. And putting on an experience that they go home and they're like, this is what we did. And they tell their family and they're like, that's kind of cool. Like, that's what I want to be a part of. So
that's why I hitched my wagon to Marino, because he's bringing linoleum, like, you know, like a fold out, and he's going to break dance.
Dude, we discovered MetaZoo together last year. That was Cage's best call.
Do you remember that?
Was looking at the guy. Yeah, of course. He's looking at the guy. He's like, how do we get more of this? This is going to be hot.
And then
when
Steve Aoki caught it.
Announced Aoki. No, it was when they first announced Aoki, right? But Cage, what are you looking forward to the most?
So Cigar Night's amazing, man. I got to thank you for that. I got to thank Collectible. I thank all the partners in that. You know, to have kind of like the cigar lounge outside. You know, for our audience, for our guys, is just, you know, it's an amazing thing. Andrew's still shocked, and it's all because of you. So thank you.
Well, we kept a secret from Andrew, which is huge.
But honestly, the biggest thing is this: the hobby. People think we're competing with each other, but I don't think that's true. I think that, you know, in reality, I think what I'm looking forward to in National is, you know, all of the shows, all of the stuff that has been done, all the businesses that have come in. I'm looking for the evolution of the hobby from a business perspective, from a show perspective. And I'm not talking about like, oh, the National versus this show. what I'm going to say is the National was awesome last year. I had a blast at it. I also had a blast at Mint Collective. And Mint Collective brought some certain things, certain different things. And I'd love to see some of those things go into the National as well. You know, they're as like a team effort, not like, oh, this one's this one's that. Same thing with content, same thing with businesses. Some people do things well, and you'd like to see the products for all of it get better. And I'll give one example. You know, Mint Collective, you did a very good job with like the content booths and having, you know, the ability to have people who are putting that content out there speak, microphones. You had your own stuff at Collective. You'll have that, but a bunch of other people are doing that also. Whatnot is doing it in the Breaking Pavilion. Is they're actually dedicating space to having, you know, a spot where people can go live and do stuff from a booth. Sarah Layton, you know, we're speaking with her, Women of the Hobby, which, you know, is also something that is an evolution of the hobby. People are obviously paying attention to that now. So, I mean, I'm excited for that because maybe something happens at the National that a show at the end of the year says, all right, we have to incorporate that in, you know?
Yeah, I think that, you know, one thing that everyone needs to, you know, kind of realize about, especially about National, you know, to me off the bat, it's an institution. Like National is something that everybody agrees that they love. Right. And I said this on the thing that you guys participated in, but it's the only thing in this hobby that everyone agrees they love it. You know, they love it for different reasons, but, you know, there's a true love and affinity for it. I think, you know, everyone can always be better, but the cool thing about this industry is that for 20 plus years, everyone's been working together, even though they're competitors, right? You know, and everyone says this is growing the pie, but it's true. And, you know, if you listen to what Michael Rubin says and what everyone else believes, like this hobbies in this industry is going to get bigger. And I'm a firm believer of that. But I think that, you know, it's opportunities like this, like
if
relationships like us,
Sure.
that grow and bring the right aspects of that community to everyone. And that's it.
I agree with you, but with an asterisk. And what I mean by that is, I don't think that everybody wants to grow the pie. I think it's a seesaw, right? And I think you have people on one side who want to extract from the pie, and there's people on the other side of that seesaw who want to add value and grow the pie. And I think what you guys have done really well, you specifically, Marino, because you're actually one of the most selfless people I've met. How I judge that is how much you give for how much you ask, right? And I think if we put more and more and more on the side of the seesaw where it's, can we give, that's the side we want to start putting more chips on, not the side of extracting value. There's always people that come in and want to extract value. We need to balance it out with the people that want to give. And I think we're doing that.
He's a giver.
Yeah. I'm a giver.
You're a hugger. He's lots.
I just saw the Sopranos episode where the guy's the giver, by the way. The old grandpa. You know.
Speaking of, check your sauce. I mean, that's good, fellas.
I got
sure. Spinning it.
Leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Keep spinning it.
Cage's kids must have gotten home from camp.
What can people expect? So they arrive Wednesday, 7 p.m., 6:30. They want to be there early. They get to the Hard Rock. What should people expect? Or are we going to have a secondary episode? We'll kind of tease and announce that at a later date.
Yeah, I think that it's a lot of the elements from Mint Collective, you know, from Collectors Carnival, but more connectivity again. You know, it's my favorite word of the day. Networking opportunities. You know, I'm sure people are going to come with their slab cases. I mean, realistically, you know, it's not going to get going until 9:00. You know, most people are going to be coming from the national preview. So, you know, remember, that's the best day, right? Wednesday, that preview is.
What are they previewing? The best part of the day is for sure the cigar night. What are they previewing?
Minus the cigar night. Minus
There's a movie
all things
before.
Luka.
So guys, go to the movie before. It's a movie preview, but show up at 7 p.m. at the Hard Rock.
It's the show preview. It's the best time on the floor at National. That's where you're going to go buy your 1980s obscure soccer cards.
At 5 p.m., not at 9 p.m.
At 5 p.m., but it goes from 5 to 8.
So what you're saying is they open the doors early for the people, like the early bird gets the worm Wednesday night, but it's really the late bird
that has the fun.
Gotcha. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Luka Nation, congratulations, Collectible Beckett, Hard Rock Cafe, Wednesday night, epic event. There's going to be more details rolled out in the next month. All you guys that RSVP'd, now you found out what you RSVP'd for, and it's going to be incredible. Cigar night overlooking the ocean.
It's going to be awesome.
And the Luka guest list is closed.
It's closed.
I have no remorse. Don't come to me. Don't give me your pouty face. We gave you every opportunity.
Closed. It's closed. Marino, we appreciate it, man. We'll let you get back to your sauce.
I love you guys.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Take care, gentlemen.
Gage. Ooh.
Yo.
A family member called. I need to call them back. But
just 10 minutes. We spent 20 minutes with Marino. This is the hobby info for the day. The announcement of Hard Rock is where we're going to do
I got a topic that will rock your socks. I can't believe, again, no one's talking about it in the NFT world. ESPN's going to hire me in a few years.
Shoot, let's hear it.
Durant to the Knicks. Why not? That is the perfect fit for him. Think about that team with Durant. That team.
Who are they trading for him? I mean, it's good for him. His business is here. So
RJ.
Right, which the Knicks fans probably wouldn't want to hear, but sure.
RJ's terrible. Terrible in relative terms. He's a very good NBA. He's an okay young prospect. I'll put it that. I'm sure they have some picks and maybe Cam Reddish, but they didn't do anything to build up, or like Mitchell Robinson.
Yep.
I don't think that trade will ever go through, but I thought about it today.
They would have to. I mean, they got extra picks, but I mean, they used a bunch of them. You know, I mean, it would have been something a little more feasible. You know, maybe before the Brunson stuff. I mean, listen, it would make sense for him. And as the options dwindle, it's something that would come more into focus. I know the Knicks were on Kyrie's short list as well, you know, of places he would go, you know, in a trade. And yeah, I mean,
change his entire legacy. Simply by just getting them to the playoffs, which that team with Durant now gets very interesting. Brunson, Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and Durant, and then you have IQ and Derrick Rose off the bench. That's a playoff team.
Oh, definitely.
The Knicks haven't been, so that's what
I think any team he goes to is a playoff team. Any team. I want him to go to Cleveland. This way LeBron doesn't go back there. That would be funny. Kind of like a block. Circle takes the square. One of those kind of things. I like that. I mean, listen, what's funny is that, you know, they're now making statements and making it very uncomfortable there, but it's great, trade me. But what if the team can't trade you? You know what I mean? What if they don't get what they think is value? Well, then guess what? It's going to be a real uncomfortable Ben Simmons, maybe, if he's going to play. Kyrie, Durant playing. You know, and Kyrie, last year, he basically hardly played at all anyway before he was asking to get traded. It's going to get real interesting really fast.
The thing is, Cage, you know this. You work in an office. Like, you could deal with one cancer, right? Yep. If you have a really good culture. But if everybody there is it's never going to work. Yep. Like, it's never going to work to the point like it's going to be uncomfortable coming to work every day.
Yep. 100%.
So, anyway, give it in 60 seconds how you put this Hard Rock collectible cigar night thing together from our standpoint with Marino. Give the Luka Nation listeners a little bit of how this all came together and what they should expect. Yeah,
I mean, listen, I wanted to do something big and then set the bar higher for the years to come. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the thing about it is we did the NFT and, you know, we told people that this was something that, you know, if you want to buy, you can buy. If you don't want to buy, you know, we're not forcing anybody's hand. A lot of people bought it without any expectation of anything. You know, just saying, hey, you guys don't have a Patreon. You guys don't have any. We're buying this to support you. You know, and during the course of, you know, the almost year, it hasn't been out for a year, but during the course of the almost year, you know, we had a sponsorship partner who we just basically didn't take any of the money and passed it out to NFT holders. We're giving out, you know, SGC grading that, as it currently stands, is worth more than the NFT costs right now if you wanted to buy it. And we've always talked about that cigar night. Now, you know, originally it was going to be a cigar night for NFT holders who had, you know, the cigar as one of the traits. But, you know, you pivot. And I'll tell you, you know, there are some awesome people doing great things in the hobby. And, you know, collectible is just one of those ones where, you know, I have no problem, hitching our wagon to them from this space. For people who are listening to us now who haven't been with us since, the get-go, we started talking to Collectible as a potential partner after we had questions about one of their offerings. And there was nothing wrong with the offering, but we had what I would consider an open dialogue. And the day we started asking about it, their CEO came right on the show. Marino come on 5 minutes before he came on the show. I texted him, "Hey, you want to come on?" You know what I mean? These guys, they're
La Fangola making sauce.
He's making sauce, exactly. But the thing is, these guys they're legitimate hobby participants. They're not, sitting up in a castle where you can't reach them. They want to succeed. They want the hobby to succeed. They want, to be a part of all of it growing, which is why when you look at the post from Ray today with the NSCC, you see all of the people who are engaged in this, this Wednesday night fun, including us. And yeah, we're outside because we're smoking cigars. So we're gonna be out on the deck overlooking the ocean. Can
I tell you from a different angle?
Shoot, please.
I think you're just gonna get a little heady, but I maybe realize it's 28, 29. So high school, you have your friends. College, you have your friends, and then at just one point, like a circumcision, that shit gets cut off. Right?
I mean, that's not what happens with a circumcision.
It's what happens. And we go to our families. We go hang out.
Somebody messed yours up, and I feel bad for you. It's not how it works.
Stay with me. Stay with me, you crazy little man. I think in today's day and age, we're craving for community. Like, I think we want to be a part of something bigger. And I think within the hobby, we feel a sense of pride and community for what we all do. And I think it's the responsibility of the businesses and the content creators, the people that have communities that like listen to them, that tune into, to work together to provide an outlet, a joyful outlet for the hobby participants. And that's what's exciting, because people ask me, what do you do? What do you do? It's not the podcast that we do. It's this community that we feel responsible to provide a certain experience, a certain kind of energy, maybe is for lack of a better word, so that they come and then they have a good time and they go home and they say, dude, that was awesome. I want to do that again.
I mean, it's a cool way. Listen, it's not everyone, obviously. I mean, there are thousands of people who listen to us every day, and we're not going to have that there. It's it's a smaller event in Atlantic City at a club at the Hard Rock, but we do want to say thank you. And this is just one of many that we'll have. One of many things we do. The SGC thing is obviously a lot larger. I mean, part of what you do every day on Whatnot, giving so many things away, is a thank you to our guys. Come on, if you're part of the audience, if you're part of the people who are there, growing our brand, here's a gift, here's a freebie, here's a card, here's 2 cards, here's 5 cards, here's a Kobe, game used jersey. So
New Year's, we did like a Zoom call with I think 50 people or something. The give backs are all different, but it's like, hey, let's come together, let's be a part of it. And other businesses, podcasts, influencers, they do it too in their own way. And there's these like little micro communities.
Can I tell you something fun about the community? And just to pivot, right? And we'll, we can wrap up, however you like. But I will tell you what's funny is I don't post the cards that I buy, too often, right? I don't do it, right? But this one was a funny story because it's you saying I don't have anything shiny, and I don't have anything serial number, I don't have any of this stuff, right? And then I post a card that's shiny and serial.
To be fair, you don't even wear any jewelry either.
Just the most important one right there. But so the I got so many messages about that card. So many people who were bidding against me. Like, at least I know who beat me. Like I'm telling you, like, oh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, don't let Andrew, talk you into buying things. Like, I got so many great men. That's a great card. He's so underappreciated. Or why are you buying big men? I got so many messages. More probably, direct messages in response to that than probably anything that I've posted, which is weird. But people are into that. That's the cards. And I mean, maybe, maybe we got to share more of our cards. You got to post you bought 49 cards or whatever it was. You got to start posting some of them. I got a fun one from yesterday's episode. Somebody said that if you play it back on YouTube, you can see that I look like a proud papa, because when you were talking about what you were buying, that I was like, wow, he's buying the right stuff. Like, you could tell. They said it was like Mr. Miyagi looking at Daniel LaRusso. Like, it was. He's not just buying, Kobe 12th year, because it looks like a cool card. He's buying the right stuff to move forward and at the right prices.
I think that's a part of it. Like, I think it really is a part of you guys mentoring the younger guys. Like, it happens in sports. It happens too, right? Like Iguodala, he mentors Wiggins. Guy. I love Iggy, dude, because I love Iggy. I don't need to even say it. He's such a decorated athlete. But
all right, but if you could only collect one player in basketball, I'm gonna take Jamar Chase out of the equation, and you're only allowed to collect one. You can't even have just like a random extra in your PC. You can only buy one guy. Is it Iguodala or Shaq?
What do you mean? It's Kobe would be the obvious.
No, that's not. You can have Kobe.
Oh,
of these two,
Iguodala or Shaq? Iguodala easily.
Really? All
yeah,
right.
I'm not a huge Shaq guy. I know I was like on a Shaq hype, but I respect him. But he mumbles too much for me.
All right, that's why I like him.
I always understand, and he makes. I like the show, but I have to listen so hard to what he says.
Listen, I mean that's why I'm the Shaq. I like when he mumbles. It's good stuff. Iguodala.
Dude, he was so athletic on the Sixers, too. People forget.
Oh, what? Iguodala. I was like, Shaq was an athletic beast, but he was never on the Sixers. I didn't know
Iguodala on the Sixers was yeah. People forget how good he was on that team. What else, Cage? I mean, 30 minutes in. It's like an announcement episode after the 4th of July. Anything interesting in baseball land?
Yeah, I mean, listen, what Shohei is doing is just an amazing, amazing thing. I mean, I'm seeing some of his cards sell for a pretty penny. Last year I was a little down on him and said, this is a guy who I wouldn't be buying because who knows how long he's going to be doing this stuff. And, his second half from a hitting perspective was not as good as his first. But what he's doing, pitching and hitting combined, Judge may hit 60 home runs this year. Who knows? But what Ohtani is doing for his team is way more important. The unfortunate part with him is it's not showing up in wins. The team has a losing record, I think. And that's with Trout and him and Rendon now, and it's just weird.
It's very weird for the average fan to understand that, just so you know.
That they don't win. Well, it's the difference between baseball and basketball. You put Bosch and Wade and LeBron on a team, and they're going to win 60 games basically guaranteed.
Right.
Just because you have Trout and Ohtani on a team. First of all, Ohtani can only pitch 1 out of every 5 games. So that means somebody else has to pitch for them 80% of the time. That's 80% of their games. That, yeah, sure, Trout and Ohtani from an offensive standpoint might be able to impact some of those games. But, the pitchers really dictate everything.
Yeah, it's very difficult to understand having 2 of the best players in the league and not having a winning record. No one's – like, you could understand, okay, it takes more to win a championship than 2 good players. Gotcha. But, like, not even getting to the playoffs is a very weird for, like,
American League is tough, man. American League is very tough. You get the Astros, and you have that whole American League East.
Why is Altuve not better than Trout, though? Like, Altuve's been on a team that's won every single year.
His team, sure, but him from an athletic standpoint, no. I mean, Trout's a center fielder, so that's one big difference. Although middle infielder, is great, just, the overall numbers are not there. And people would argue that Altuve's probably had a better team when you add in Correa and you add in, Bregman and Springer and, the fact that he had Verlander all this whole time to go with, Cole, though Cole never won with him. The Astros pitching staff's always been fantastic. That's really the difference.
And the technology that the team uses.
I'm not even going to go there. I mean, the Yankees have a great record, but I'm not, if you tell me, gun to your head, pick that the Yankees are going to win the World Series or not, I'm not so confident that they win the World Series, even though they're the odds-on favorite right now, because you only go as far as your pitching takes you. And I still consider their pitching, although they've been very good, I think they've really, performed to the upside. Like, I think they might, regress. I think they might, come back down to the mean, right? So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
Prism NBA Friday.
Yes. Ian and I will open a box. Maybe we'll do it live, and we'll show that off for folks.
But do the consignment show and then go live after it with the break?
Something like that. We'll open a box. I think it's coming either Thursday or Friday. And we'll.
How much is a retail going for?
I don't know what they are. $1,200, $1,300, something like that. I think. But I'm not paying that.
For a hobby, that's a hobby box.
Yeah.
And that's Cade, Cunningham, Evan Mobley, that class, right?
It's finally this last year's class, a month or so after most of them stopped playing, 2 months after, and the ones that didn't make the playoffs.
So remember Top Pro basketball was like horizontal, then vertical. They changed it up, the design year to year. They had the top scrum border, but they did change. Would you be annoyed if it's the same design that we've seen over the last few years with Prism?
I mean, I think you can kind of tell what it is. One of the things, Panini Digital has, you probably can see what the cards look like. Those digital ones have been out for quite some time. Just the cardboard, the the actual physical one hasn't been out. So you can kind of get a preview. Plus, now you can see the pictures. But it's basically the same thing. It's very, very similar look to, the way that it's been, just like football.
When Ian pulls a Cade Cunningham 1-of-1, will you go nuts and officially deem yourself the luckiest man in the world?
Sure. And we'll sell it that day, too. I mean, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Right there on Whatnot?
Right there, as soon as it's open. Whoever's just in the chat. On Instagram Live, there's 8 people there. Whoever the highest offer is, we'll sell it right there.
Wow, you heard it here first. Make sure to be there. It's going to be on Whatnot, not Instagram Live.
Okay, Whatnot. So it'll be on Whatnot. It'll be a lot of fun. But I mean, listen, Cade Cunningham may turn out to be a great player, but my take on it is some of the prices that some of these young kids get, it is amazing. The quarterbacks that are out there. It's Mac Jones may turn into a very good quarterback, but $175,000 for one of his cards. I know it's Prism. I know it's 1-of-1. I know it's the great card, but that's a house, in most of America. And he may not turn out to be. He may be Sam Darnold. There, I said it. I mean, maybe he won't be because he's on the Patriots, but instead of the Jets. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Guys, we'll see you guys in 3 weeks, most of you. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us. We love you all. Cage, you're an amazing, amazing co-host, amazing business partner.
It's fun, man. We'll have some more stuff. I have a topic I'm researching on NFL quarterbacks to do stuff. But, I mean, this is basketball's over. Baseball's kind of, heading into the All-Star break. Red Sox-Yankees series coming up this weekend, so that's cool too. But, not a lot of sports going on. And
Wimbledon.
Yeah, Wimbledon. I mean, you could talk tennis if you like. But, it's, the free agent frenzy. I mean, what do you got left? Harden?
He's staying in Philly, I think. I think from what I heard, they have a good working relationship.
They're just reworking his deal, I think. Harden and who else? I mean, there's not many other people who haven't signed really. So, most of the free agent NBA stuff, it was, it's a blaze of glory in that first couple of days. Now it's just, do the Lakers grab anybody? Is Kyrie and Durant? What's going on? Ayton's the other free agent. That's a decent name.
Restricted though, I believe, right?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure on Ayton, but I know his name is out there as somebody that the Suns have been, okay losing and using in trades.
I don't know if the Suns get where they want to be with Durant. I'm not even sure if they're that much of a better team with Durant, if I could be honest.
I mean, Durant, Booker, Paul, you really would have no reason not to at least get to the finals. I mean, they
were a finals team this year, except for one game to the Mavs, which. Like, you take that game away, that weird Game 7 where they got blown out on their home court, and you're like, this is a finals team without Durant.
Yeah.
Right there. And I'm not sure he solves the need. I mean, he's a bucket getter.
Listen, the thing you get with Durant, at least what you're supposed to get with Durant, is I think what's been missing for the Suns. Chris Paul's going to do what he does. But even him in those big games, he's looking to pass first. He's looking to create. And what we've seen from Booker is he's not the number one guy. He is not the guy who's going to go out there.
He's not the number 2 or 3 guy either. So
he's just not a scorer. But I guess what I'm saying, though, is if Paul is passing to Durant and you say to Kevin Durant, we need you to go out there and score 50 tonight, he's going to score 50. Whereas you tell Booker, he could score 20, he could score 10. But Ayton wasn't that guy either. At least the upgrade would be you have a guy who you know is a killer. You have a guy who you know is right now who gets the buckets. They didn't have it.
My question then is, like, does Booker play like the Klay Thompson role?
I don't think it matters. I think this smart guy that I talk to almost every day talks about positionless basketball. And when you have somebody like Durant come in and you have a team like that, I mean, the only player who's playing a position is Chris Paul. And the rest of them basically are just going to be, all right, we'll ride the hot hand one night. But in those get to game 6, game 7, in the playoffs, it's Durant, go get buckets. And you know what? Booker doesn't have to be the main guy. It's sort of like Middleton. he would be like obviously different size player, but he'd be like a Middleton. Sure. Can he be the guy who scores 40 in the playoffs one night because they're triple teaming Giannis? 100%. On those nights, if the defense is going to be soft on Booker because they all know that Durant's going to try to go out there and score 50, then maybe Booker could show up those nights. That's kind of
Chris Paul rides the hot hand. He's like he gotcha.
Yeah,
they're both 1As, and Chris Paul is the one who decides.
Yeah, I don't think Booker's a 1A. I think Booker's a 1B, but he can be a guy if the defense is not keying on him. The problem that I think they had is that the defense keys on him, and what are they going to do? They give it to Ayton. That's not doing anything. There was nobody else. Mikal Bridges, no, great player, great all-around player, but not somebody who's going to go out there and score 40 when you need it in an elimination game. Right. Durant is. So that's the upgrade I see. But who the hell knows where he's going to go? But that's the fun of it. That's why basketball is like no other sport, right? It keeps you engaged here to talk about these things during the off season. It's a fun one, guys. I am very excited about National. We're like 3 weeks away. Yeah, man. Can't wait to see you guys there.
Peace. Thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month. And many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is, 9170 Glades Road, number 135. Is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com, or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luka Nation.